And to get us the mood of the nation from across India, I am joined by my colleagues who are going to be getting us the voice of the people at large as to what are their expectations from this budget 2023. I am joined by my colleagues Dharani. I am also joined by Shweta, Srushti, who are all getting us the voices of the people at large. I'm also joined by Shweta from Mumbai and Ishika from New Delhi. Very good morning to all of you. And let me go across first to Ishika. Ishika, you are here in the national capital, and the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has just left for the cabinet meeting right now. She will be presenting her fifth budget, but it is also going to be Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government's last budget, last full budget before 2024 elections. What are the people of the national capital, their aspirations and desires from this this budget for the electoral year?
Samya, as you rightly said that right now, today Modi government 2.0, their last budget is going to be presented in the parliament at 11 a.m. and the whole nation is awaiting for that moment. I am present here at the commercial hub in New Delhi at Connaught Place, and people here also have, some kind of expectations from the finance minister before, before she presents the budget 2023. Let me go across to them. सर, ये मुझे बताइए कि आज बजट पेश होने वाला है. आप सुबह सुबह ही अखबार पढ़ रहे थे. जब आप अखबार में ये हेडलाइन पढ़ रहे थे, क्या-क्या आपकी उम्मीदें जगी कि इस बार बजट में होना चाहिए?
हम आम आदमी हैं मैम, हमें एक्सपेक्टेशन यही है कि हमें कुछ आज बजट में अच्छा मिले, हैं मिडिल क्लास के लिए बहुत अच्छा बजट हो. बस ये एक्सपेक्टेशन रखते हैं मोदी सरकार से.
रोज़मर्रे की चीज़ की अगर हम बात करें तो हम देख रहे हैं उसमें भी काफ़ी वो हो गई है, महंगाई बढ़ी है, तो उसको भी लेके आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे? साथ साथ जॉब एम्प्लॉयमेंट
ज़रूर कहूँगा कि बेरोज़गारी थोड़ा बढ़ गई है और जो हमारा डेली बेसिस के चीज़ें हैं उसमें ज़रूर कुछ ना कुछ अच्छा मिले हमको. वो हमारे लिए सबसे बेसिक पॉइंट है बजट में इस बार, और हमें एक्सपेक्टेशन है कि हमें ज़रूर इस बार कुछ ना कुछ अच्छा मिलेगा.
तो अब हम आपसे भी जानना चाहेंगे, आप यहाँ पर हैं, आप अखबार लिए हैं, तो फिर आप क्या बोलेंगे कि आपके क्या एस्पिरेशंस हैं
आज के डेट में? मैडम, हमारे एस्पिरेशन ये है कि हमें हर चीज़ों पे थोड़ा रिलीफ मिले. हाँ,
चाहे वो रोज़मर्रा,
हाँ, रोज़मर्रा की चीज़ हो, चाहे हमारी जॉब जैसी बेरोज़गारी के उस पे हर जगह हमें कुछ ना कुछ रिलीफ मिले, और डीजल पेट्रोल जो है उस पे थोड़ा रिलीफ मिले, ये सब.
So I also have, one of the students with me. I'll also go across to her. So what are your expectations for the budget?
स्टूडेंट्स की तो बहुत सारी उम्मीदें हैं इस बजट के साथ. हम चाहेंगे कि सेकेंडरी एजुकेशन, हाई एजुकेशन में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा इन्वेस्टमेंट हो. अगर हम रिसर्च सेक्टर की बात करें तो वहाँ भी हम स्टूडेंट्स चाहते हैं कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा इन्वेस्टमेंट हो, और एक अच्छा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, एक अच्छा एनवायरनमेंट एक एजुकेशन सेक्टर को प्रोवाइड हो. हम स्टूडेंट्स का फ्यूचर है इस कंट्री का, तो अगर इसमें इन्वेस्टमेंट ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा होगी तो आउटकम और जीडीपी में ऑलवेज, हम लोगों को पता है कि जीडीपी तो ऑलवेज रेज ही होगा.
So as you clearly heard the voices here from the national capital, Samya, people have different kind of expectation from the budget.
Appreciate you joining us. All that reaction, Ishika from the national capital. But my colleague Srushti is joining me from the Poddar College. Srushti, what is the sense on ground as far as the students are concerned? What are their aspirations from this particular budget? Do they feel that there should be a lot more announcement when it comes to providing jobs, employment is concerned, or for that matter, there should be budget allocation, especially made for certain sectors within the education sector?
Yes, definitely, Samya. Let's just straight go across to the students of financial capital of country, that is Mumbai. Right now I'm standing here in front of Poddar College, and I have bright students of commerce here with me, joined for the live and for the discussion about budget. Hello, thank you for joining us. Please talk to us little about what do you expect from this upcoming budget?
I think the first one is the GST on educational services. If the education is a basic necessity, then why there is GST levied on those services? I think this point should be considered, and some reduction in the rates might be there as well. The second thing, I think the technology and education, the mixture between technology and education must be there, not just in the metropolitan cities and private schools, but also the government schools in the villages as well.
So you're talking about that there should be a little tax reduction in terms of private schools as well.
Yes, yes.
Hi sir, thank you for joining us. Please talk to us. What are your expectations today from the budget?
Can I hold it? I guess budget 2023 would be a relief for middle class persons, as there we are looking at that middle class is paying a tax for normal basic food. So there should be a reduction in tax, I guess. And एज मिडल हम लोग देखते आ रहे लाइक मिडिल क्लास पर्सन गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स में अगर नंबर लगा तो ठीक है, लेकिन प्राइवेट स्कूल्स में अगर प्राइवेट स्कूल में जाना रहेगा तो उसको अगर गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में 6,000 फ़ी भरना है तो उधर ही प्राइवेट स्कूल में 60,000 बोलते, तो उसके ऊपर ध्यान देना चाहिए एंड होपफुली इट विल टेक प्लेस.
Hi, thank you for joining us. क्या expectations हैं आपकी?
Like in the world, many developed countries pay about 15% for their education, while in India, it is only 6% of GDP for education. So if the gap is filled, so I feel that education facilities would be more for the students and the GDP will increase more.
Thank you for joining us. So these are the young voices from financial capital of country, that they are saying that tax should be reduced from educational. They are also suggesting that there should be more amount to be allocated for education sector wherein students can be benefited.
Interesting reactions are coming in from the students of the financial capital. They have specifically mentioned that they are hoping that there should be no leverage of GST in the education sector. They are also hoping that there should be technology and education related a comparative, some sort of a projection from the government's end. They also feel that there should be an increase as far as the allocation of a 6% of the GDP for the education sector. Very interesting reactions coming in, but let me also go across to my colleague Dharani, who is joining me from Chennai. Dharani, take us through what is going to be the reaction of the people over there. What are they expecting from this year's budget?
Well, Samia, this year's budget becomes all the more crucial as it is going to be the last budget prior to the next, parliamentary elections. And of course, right now I'm being joined by a tax-paying citizen from Chennai. So he is among the working population and he is a tax-paying citizen. And of course, we'll go to his point of view, sir. What is your expectations from, this year's union budget, and especially that this happens, prior to the next election. So it becomes all the more important in that manner. So what do you expect out of it?
See, over a period of time, India is growing and India can truly aspire to become a super rich in the near future to come. But I am particularly looking at two big problems facing the country. One is a growing inequality of income, the gap between rich and poor. The rich are becoming richer and poor are becoming poorer. Okay, this needs to be addressed sometime or sooner or later. The second problem pertains to standards of governance. This is becoming poorer and poorer. We have all-round problems all over. All these standards of governance problems are buried beneath. Okay, so this cannot be done overnight in one budget or so. For a period of time, it has to be done. So I'll be happy if some honest effort is made to address these two big problems in the budget. Okay, this budget should be a budget based on some vision, not accountants' work. Okay, specifically, I have an issue to point out. One is regarding the glitches in the software for e-filing of tax returns. So this needs to be addressed. It is still continuing more than a period of 2 or 3 years now.
So your focus area is going to be these. Apart from this, would you like to talk anything about the GST or any focus areas? For example, environmental sustainability or a huge investment in education or something like that.
No, India has got a lot of ambition when it comes to developing green energy. Okay, keeping the environment safe and clean and so on. But these initiatives should be supported with a good budget and moreover create awareness among the public, to go along with this government's initiatives.
So that is Samia, one of the citizens from Chennai. So he is basically telling us that he is expecting a lot towards the software industry, and apart from that, he is also having a view about environmental sustainability angle as far as this whole budget is concerned.
Well, appreciate you joining us, Dharani, and getting us that valued input from Chennai. But from Chennai, let us also go across to Shweta, who is joining us from Mumbai, from Dalal Street for that matter. Shweta, what is the mood over there? Take us to the market experts. How are they looking at it? What are the projections?
Well, absolutely. Good morning, Samia. And this is the big budget day, and we are present at the barometer of the market. That's Dalal Street, and we are joined by market expert Mr. Siddharth Kuawala. Mr. Siddharth, you have been time and again connected with Mirror now when it comes to market and finance. Today, what are the expectations from the union budget? And secondly, which is quite important to know, what can middle class expect from this budget?
I think this budget should be focusing both growth and social, because elections are going to be there in 24.
Right.
And at the same time, I think the growth story also will continue. Some more scheme like PLI, or maybe some additional sectors may get a PLI schemes or related something. And even government may announce some amnesty scheme like they had announced before also, whereby they can do more collection of money, because ultimately it is what is collected and that is what you spend, revenue and expenditure.
Right, right.
So we feel that this budget, government within their limits will try and focus and cover every single part of social and on growth aspect, like related to infrastructure. Like last year, Gati Shakti was announced, and under that, many projects now are under process. And I am seeing there has been good momentum. I hope it helps for
Definitely,
further.
it's a great boom for infrastructure also. But what does the union budget has for the middle class? The section is quite huge. There's a vast population of middle class, and it is known that whenever union budget is there, we play a very vital role. Yeah.
Yes, and this time expectation is high. The threshold limit may be increased to 5 lakhs. Maybe under ATC and other things also the limits will go up. Even under insurance scheme limits may go up more than 50,000. And maybe most likely Ayushman Bharat, the flagship program of the government, it may include middle class, whereby it gives benefit to the masses of the country.
Absolutely. Thank you for connecting with us. In fact, Samia, let me quickly give you a glimpse of the iconic spot. And this is BSc. My video journalist is showing you, Praveen Naogaonkar. And remember, it is very important to note that all eyes are glued on union budget, and everyone, as soon as the traditional way of Bahi Khata is seen with the union finance minister, everyone just hopes one single thing, that this time there should be relief from taxes and they could save more for the year. Back to you.
Absolutely, Shweta, and the middle class, like you mentioned, the taxpayers are looking towards the budget 2023 to see whether at all there's going to be any respite for the taxpayer or not. But let me also go across to my colleague Neha, who is joining us from the IT capital of Bengaluru. Neha, very good morning to you. Tell us where you are right now in Bengaluru, and what are the people of Bengaluru thinking about the 2023 budget? What are their expectations? Where do they feel there should be a need for the government to work upon?
Yes, Samia, I'm going to take this question straight, in fact, to some people joining us right now. So I'd like to ask you, a lot of expectations from this union budget, considering that, it is also a poll-bound year now, possibly the expectations are high. I'd like to ask you, what are you expecting?
The same point I already mentioned, the ATC deductions, because it will be helpful for many of the middle class people. And as also you can see from the salaried class point of view, the HRA, if you are considering, Bangalore is still considered as non-metro city. So we would expect that to be considered as metro city. Why? Because earlier it was very long back, it was been considered as only 4 cities as a metro cities for HRA exemption. So Bangalore also, if they consider, that will be much helpful for a person. Why? Because there are many employees in Bangalore, so that will be helpful for Bangalore. Yes. And from the infrastructure development, yes, we expect that to from all the positives for hospitality, from traveling, and even the medical, all that should be taken care of.
So talking specifically about Bangalore, you mentioned infrastructure. I want to ask you, there's been a lot of tall promises that have been made about the infrastructure, be it the roads or the metro system or the bus connectivity network for that matter. As someone, who's probably been staying here and working here, are you satisfied with that? Are you expecting some development, possibly some more funds being, allocated on that front?
At present, yes. Why? Because when considering, if you are asking me personally, it means from past 10 years, if you ask me, it is way developed when we consider from the development point of view. So even if you ask from 2010 onwards, where I started to live in Bangalore. So from there, if you consider, it is much better, much better from the infrastructure development. But yeah, there is a long way to go. Hoping for the best.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, Samya, of course, all eyes on the union budget presentation over there by the finance minister. But people too, of course, have got their hopes up. More so, when we're talking specifically about Bangalore or Karnataka, considering that, there is, of course, an election too coming up both in the state and in the centre too in just about 1 year from now. So we'll really have to wait and see as to what, is in store for the people of Bangalore and Karnataka.
Well, absolutely, Neha, and we shall come back to you and thanking all our colleagues who are joining us at this point in time and got us those valued inputs and reactions across India. Appreciate all of you joining us here at Mirror Now, and we shall come back to you as and when the Finance Minister presents that budget at 11 a.m.